Welcome to the replay. Today is June 16th and we're going to be working on December in Summer's bullet journal. Just let me get this set up here. Welcome here, you guys. We just finished up November in Summer's bullet journal, but that feels like ages ago. It was on Friday. So I'll just do a quick flip through. Actually, I might just do a quick flip through of the whole thing and then we're going to get started on December. Okay, so we did this little summer or garden tea party theme for August. The calendar, the trackers, and the weekly spreads. Then for September, we did this daisy theme, calendar, trackers, and weekly spreads. And then for October, we did this little globe theme, calendar, trackers, and weekly spreads. And then last week we ended off by completing November. So we did this vintage Polaroid theme. Thank you guys for all the likes. Laura, I see you. I appreciate that. We did this vintage Polaroid camera theme and we've got a calendar here, trackers, and then these are the weekly spreads that we chose for November. So that is where we're at in this journal. And we didn't start on December. We weren't totally sure how Summer felt about like a holiday theme or anything like that, so we didn't want to go ahead and just start something like that. But she did reach out to me and say that she loves Christmas and would like to have a gingerbread theme. So that's what we're gonna do today. Thanks, Laura, you're so sweet. So I'm just gonna put away some of these other markers that I don't think we'll be needing for a gingerbread theme, and get my Pinterest up and running to look for some gingerbread doodles and then also a cover page layout. So let's search gingerbread did I do an extra space? No, doodles. Let's see here. That's cute. Okay, I feel like I've got enough doodle inspiration. I'm going to go pull up some bullet journal title pages and see what we like. I also just remembered that I had a theme, whoops, in my bullet journal a while ago that incorporated gingerbread that we could consider using for this one as well. I loved the color palette in this theme. Obviously it's very like kind of deep neutral colors, but so yeah, I did this one, which has since been scribbled on by my toddler. But so this one had more than just gingerbread. Like gingerbread wasn't really the main theme, but I had like people doing snow angels, gingerbread, stars, holly. But I love these colors. I love this title. And so I'm going to throw this in as one of the contenders to vote on for the cover page layout. We wouldn't need to do like the snow angel people or whatever. We could make it much more specific to gingerbread, but this layout in general, I want to throw into the vote. Let's see what other options we have. This one's very cute, but I feel like December is a bit too, maybe a bit too long to fit nicely. We can make it work. little gingerbread in the top and bottom corners there like that. Gingerbread. Just looking for some title page inspiration for the gingerbread theme for December, for those of you guys who are just joining. Maybe 2 more title pages to vote on. I'm just going to click on one of these and see what we get, because I feel like I'm always flipping through the same ones because I'm always going through my Pinterest board. So let's open up to some different ones. Oh, I feel like this could be kind of cute with a gingerbread man. Like have kind of one big gingerbread man with the blobs of color behind, and then instead of these little berries, having like holly or stars or some other like Christmassy little doodles. Ivana Journals again. I always love her stuff. I feel like this kind of thing could be cute with a gingerbread. Because it kind of, that gingham pattern I feel like works well for Christmassy themes. Okay, so we've got 4 options. Let me show you guys where we're at. Oh yeah, this is the weekly spread that I am using to base my pre-made bullet journal off of, which I want to show you guys that at some point this evening so that I can get some of your feedback. Where are we here? Oh yeah. So I saved a few. We're doing a gingerbread theme in Summer's journal for December. So I saved a little bit of just like doodle inspiration here. I've got these guys. Wrong way. I don't understand how my Photos app, why recently saved. I just want normal. Because then it's backwards. Okay, that's weird. These little gingerbread guys. This is some more inspiration just for our doodles. Here, 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 and then we get into layout options. So is there a moderator available to do a 4-option poll? And also, I'm sorry if you guys are commenting. I don't see comments while I am while I'm on my iPad. So I'll get back to your comments later, but we're going to make this option 1. So stacked calligraphy, similar color palette, very warm, very cozy, but focus more on the gingerbread, less on, we won't have the people in there doing their snow angels. So that's option 1. Option 2 is this, gingerbread men up in the corner, December in some nice kind of juicy looking calligraphy in the middle. Option 3 is this one with a larger gingerbread man, some blobs of color behind, and then little Christmas related doodles around. That was 3. And then 4 is this one here, a gingham pattern behind, and then we would cut and paste a gingerbread man on top right in the middle for the heading. So let me flip through those once more if we've got time left on the vote. Oh yes, we do. Perfect. So we're choosing a layout for our gingerbread theme for December. Layout option number 1 is this one here. Stacked calligraphy, very like warm, cozy color palette. No people doing their snow angels, just more of an emphasis on gingerbread men. That was option 1. And then option 2 is this here, gingerbread up in the corners, and then December going across in this kind of calligraphy. Ooh. Oh, this is one of the layouts I'm using for the pre-made bullet journal that I wanted to trace. Or there's this one where we do a larger gingerbread man with globs of color in behind and then little Christmas related doodles kind of sprinkled around. That's option 3. And then option 4, gingham pattern in the background and then paste on one larger gingerbread man. Those are the 4 options. I'm going to go ahead and go back into TikTok so I can see y'all's comments. Hey, I'm doing well. Welcome here, you guys. Yeah, so Summer and I were chatting and she was like, yes, let's do a Christmas theme. So pumped about that. Okay, option 3. I need to remind myself what option 3 even was. I feel like I always forget the options after I give them. Ivana Journals, should have known. Her stuff is just so good. If you don't already follow her, I don't know if she has TikTok actually, but if you don't follow her on Instagram or Pinterest, you definitely should. Okay, so let's do that. And let me pull up some of my little gingerbread men that I'm copying here. We have got to swatch for some colors here. So the main color that we'll need is a brown, and then I'm thinking like a lighter color to be kind of that splash of color behind the gingerbread man on the title page, and then probably a dark green, maybe a deep red at some point in this theme since it is Christmassy. But let's prioritize getting a good gingerbread man color. So we'll do that as 1. And if we could, in just a moment, not quite yet, but we will need a 1-minute poll. Oh, okay, this one, I just need to replace. I don't know what happened to this, because like it still gives out ink, but it's not the right color, and the tip of it is just like kind of fuzzy. But I do have a replacement for it. So let's bring that in. Get that out of there and replace it with this. Okay, so the color actually isn't that off of the one that's kind of wrecking. And then I feel like I need something a little bit more orangey. Not like super orangey, but... Oh no, that's too orangey. Okay, that's good. All right, so we're looking for a brown for our gingerbread men. And we're gonna have a poll going in the top left-hand corner underneath my name to choose one of these browns for gingerbread men. So take a look. 1 is like the most just like kind of basic brown. We just used that in November for... so I can show it to you in action. The ring around the lens here was option 1. Wait, no, it wasn't. Was it? Okay, I might be lying to you. That was actually option 2. Option 1. We have used option 1 before. Where did we use it? Oh, option 1 is the outline for this calendar here. So 1 is a very basic brown. 2 is a little bit almost like purpley undertones. 3, oh, sorry guys, I'm way off camera. 3 is almost like a deep orange. And then 4 is a little bit more orangey even. So those are our 4 brown options for gingerbread men. And I'm gonna look for some greens as well. Gonna need a nice deep green at some point here. Option 4, but not by much. Okay, very orangey. I'm gonna keep the other ones out. Option 1 was the second. Okay, I'm gonna keep option 1 out as well because I'm not totally solid feeling on option 4, but it kind of just depends what other colors we choose, how well it goes with those. Let me just circle that one. The thing that I'm concerned about is just if we add a red to this theme, which I feel like we might want at some point. It's a very Christmassy sort of theme, so I don't want to kind of rule out the option of adding a red just because our gingerbread color is too reddish, you know? So let's do swatch for some greens. This might be for like an evergreen branch or holly or something like that. I just feel like at some point in a Christmassy theme, we'll probably want a nice deep green. So we've got a poll going right underneath my name again. You can choose one that goes well with this orangey brown that we chose for our gingerbread man. I'm also going to swatch a few lighter colors to be kind of, you know how there was that blob going behind the gingerbread man on the cover page. So I'm going to swatch a few lighter colors to incorporate into there. Noted, Jessie. Gotcha. Actually, I feel like this one, that might work. Is there any other color to bring in the background? Not really, I don't think. Oh, thank you for the follow. Okay, option 2. Okay, sounds good. All right, and now what we're looking for, let me just remind you of our cover image here. Because what we're looking for now is a color to be, you see that light blue kind of, oh great, blob behind what will be a gingerbread man for us. That's what we're looking for, a color to go there. So I'm not sure if we'll, like what else we'll use this color for, but I just pulled out a few light colors. They'll be directly behind number 4. So vote for something that would complement number 4 really well. Those are our options. I'm not really sure if we'll need any other colors, so I might just leave the vote at that for now. And then if we need to add a color, I'll just add a color. And then we will get started. Yeah, we've paired number 1 and number 2 together a lot, especially in Janelle's bullet journal. We use those ones in every theme. Okay, yeah, so here's my question. I feel like this may not pair well with a red, but do we want a red in there? Okay, option 1. Cool. Option 1, very neutral, very safe. I like it. I like option 1 for the brown as well. For me, if I had been voting, I would have picked number 3, then number 1, then number 4, then number 2. I'm just trying to think of how that would work with red. Okay, let's vote for just a red that we like, and then we'll pick one of these 2 that goes well with the red. Because, yeah, I feel like adding a deep red is nice for a Christmas. Why did I just develop a lisp when I was trying to say Christmas? Adding a deep red is nice for Christmas. All right, so let me swatch a few reds. We'll just pick at face value what red we like, and then we'll see which brown it pairs best with. And I realize that one is quite deep. That's okay. Okay, that one might be too brown. I think I'm gonna nix that one and put in a bit of a brighter red into the pool. Oh, that is too bright. That's not going to match with any of our colors. Let me see if I can find something that's kind of in between. And if not, we'll just vote from 3. Pull out my monstrous bag of Crayola Super Tips. Okay, let's see how this is. Okay, that's not too alarmingly red, but still more red than our other ones. So let's just vote on a red that we like out of these 4. And then we're gonna choose a brown that works with it. Cause yeah, we probably do want a red in a Christmassy theme. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3 is almost more of like a wine color. That's the one that we used if you guys were here for December in Janelle's bullet journal where we did that Disney desserts theme, this was that like deep wine kind of color that we used for like the icing on the donuts and stuff like that. Love that color. Debating way too much for this one. Yeah. I agree, Jennifer. 1 and 3 are my favorites as well. One, okay, good. Option 1. This is one of the Crayola Super Tips pack of 100. I wish that they were numbered, but it's, if the packs still come in the same order that they came in when I got mine, then it was 31. The 31st marker was this one, and it's like the only red that I use basically ever. I never use any of these like Lyra Aqua Brush Duo reds. I always reach for this one. All right, so given that we are adding this red, I'm just gonna put it over here beside our 2 brown candidates. And I'm not gonna do a poll for this, but just, what do you guys think? That red paired with a brown, 1 or 2? Oh, whoops. 1, 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 1. Yeah, Dana, I agree. Okay, let's go with 1. I'm seeing some 2s, but a lot more 1s. So we're going to change our brown to option 1. Because it's much more of a brown. The other one is quite orange. I feel like it looks less orange on camera, so I can understand why you guys like it, but it is quite a bit more brown than the other ones. So let's do it. All right, so we're just going to do a big gingerbread man, kind of at an angle here, with white gel pen for the icing. And then we got to go in afterwards and add the little blob behind and stuff like that. But let's just do, I've got a reference picture here from Pinterest of just a very basic gingerbread man. So I'm just going to copy it as best I can. And just color it in. All right. I'm going to let that sit just for a second before I add the white gel pen. I put away the brown that we're wanting to use, right? Yes, I did. All right, so I'm just going to draw like kind of a blob behind here. And just add a few little like Christmassy doodles. We'll do some holly. And some little like mini gingerbread stars, which we'll add icing to. All right, and then we've got some like kind of sparkles going on. And we've got to write December down here. I'm just using a similar font to the one in our reference photo. All right, let's add, okay, sorry, I have not been watching for comments here. Oh, hey Lisa, okay, thank you. I need to go check that after this. Hey Kelly, yes, Kaylee, sorry. Yes, I am using a reference. So yeah, we pick, so let me show you. We're doing December in Summer's bullet journal. So we choose like a reference photo for how we want to lay out the cover page, which is this dessert theme by Ivana Journals. So we did kind of that feel. I'm gonna finish the details on here soon. And then we also picked some like reference photos for gingerbread doodles. I am a doodler, but I'm not like an artist. I can't just like pull out, you know, ideas of my own and make them look nice. I feel like I always need a reference photo, which maybe I should work on that. But yeah, I am always using references for stuff. So we just kind of took those two different reference photos, one cover page layout and then one doodle reference, and combine them together. So let's just get this guy ready to be iced. And I can show you the rest of the journal too, Kaylee. This is Summer's bullet journal. So this is our 5th month in here. We've got Garden Tea Party was the prompt for this one. Calendar, trackers, weekly spreads. And then Daisy was the theme for this month, named after her dog, Daisy. Calendar, trackers, and weekly spreads. And then this little globe with a paper airplane theme for October. Calendar, trackers, and weeklies. And then November was this vintage Polaroid theme. Calendar, trackers, and weekly spreads. So that's where we're at in the journal right now. We are 4 months in to a 12-month journal. All right, let's start icing this guy. I wish I had a Uniball Signo for this, because I feel like for icing you want it to be like juicy, juicy. Or a white paint marker that was more reliable. But last time, do you guys remember when I tried using a white paint marker in Patty's? It ended up working just fine, but it just like squirted all over the paper. It was such a good thing that I was using it on craft paper and not straight in the journal. But I think it would make me nervous trying to use it like in this scenario straight into the journal, just because it did it didn't explode, but it got paint everywhere. Thanks, guys. I do, Maria, but my paint markers are all just brush tip. Or my acrylic markers, sorry. I have those paint pens in a finer tip, but they're like kind of old. So I have a few sets, but the ones that have a finer tip are pretty old. My new acrylic paint markers are all with like a thick brush tip, which I love, but not for this. Hey, Quartz. Baseball history, okay. Suit yourself. All right, there we go. Is it missing anything, you guys? Yeah, Catbug, they do work pretty well. I feel like the Uniball Signo is a little bit more juicy most times, but they're also more expensive. I don't think you can get as large of bulk packs. Like with the Jelly Roll, I always just get the biggest pack because I go through them so quickly. But with Uniball, I think the biggest pack that I've ever seen anyway is a 3-pack. I do have Instagram. Yes, Kaylee. Same name except for, so Rylee Autumn _ is my Instagram. And I saw a question. Okay, suggestions for learning brush calligraphy lettering. So Jennifer, I do have a guide in my Etsy shop. Are you talking about markers or like how to learn? Like what kind of brush markers to use or how to learn it? I feel like I need to add white gel pen to everything. It's making everything look so much better. Add a little bit of shine on the holly, a bit of lines on the leaves here. Okay, that works. Cute little gingerbread man. Oh, Sammy, let me show you how November turned out. Were you here for the title page? We did these monthly spreads. And then the weekly spreads all look something like this. The only thing we changed week to week was just alternating between a camera and a picture in the top corner. Other than that, everything else was the same. Oh, Ink Joy. I haven't tried those. Hey, Paige. Oh, you have pens and markers. How to get better than just Oh, okay. Yeah, Jennifer, you can check it out, but let me think. Were you here the other day when I was talking about calligraphy? Were you one of the ones asking questions when I was like kind of demoing some of it? And okay, so we need to put a brain dump over here. Let's think about how we want to lay that out. Nessa, no, this is not my personal journal. This is a custom bullet journal for my customer Summer. So hers started in August of this year and it's going to go all the way until July of next year. And currently we're at December. Okay, so for brain dump, Oh, no worries, Jennifer. I'll just say some of the things I was saying there because I think people found that helpful. Paige, black fine liner is the supply that I am probably the least picky about, because I've had success with, I mean, I started off with the Sakura Pigma Microns. They're great, but the tip wore down way faster than any other black fine liner I've ever tried. I've found cheap ones on Amazon, on AliExpress, like just no name basically ones on like Stationery Pal and stuff. I don't know. That's the one that I am the least picky about, is black fine liner. Okay, so Jennifer, no worries at all. One of the things, or two of the things that I suggested, maybe let's do that, is first of all, treating it more like drawing than writing, because if you're thinking writing, you're going to be thinking like cursive, where everything is connected, you never lift your hand, that kind of thing. And that's not really the way to achieve nice bouncy calligraphy, or even not bouncy calligraphy if that's not your thing. So first of all, thinking of it like writing or like drawing instead of like writing. And then second of all, I recommend starting off with monoline calligraphy, not like weighted calligraphy where you're doing thicker downstrokes, thinner upstrokes, because that's honestly the hardest part, is just figuring out how to nicely transfer the weight on your marker to get those thin upstrokes and thick downstrokes. So you can work on that, but how I recommend starting is by just treating it all as monoline calligraphy. So for example, instead of like hello, I always use hello as a sample word, but instead of doing that, just do it all the same weight. And again, treat it like you're drawing. So do the one stroke, pick up your marker, do the next stroke, whatever, and then go back over it mentally and just, okay, anytime my marker's going down, I'm going to thicken that up. So you end up getting a very similar look, but you just kind of build that like awareness of where the downstrokes are. And also, yeah, just changing your weight like that and getting a good consistent thin stroke and a good consistent thick stroke is probably the most difficult part in my opinion. So those are two things that I would suggest, is treat it like drawing, pick up your marker all the time. Anytime you change directions, anytime you feel like you need to, just pick it up. Don't think that you're just, trying to write out a big long word in cursive. And then number two is just to do monoline calligraphy first, and then figure out where the thick strokes need to happen by just kind of mentally tracing back over the letters and thickening up the downstrokes. Those are some of the biggest tips that I have if you're just starting out. Okay, let me see. Cookie cutters or frosting, icing paper with the words brain. Oh, that's a cute idea. Yeah, do it. Do it, Paige. Yeah, no worries, Jennifer. And feel free to come back with questions if you have questions. I don't mind doing samples or whatever. Aw, thanks, Paige. Okay, so the icing paper thing is cute. We could do that. We could do, so some of my sample pictures have just like, different shapes of gingerbreads. So we could just pick like a different shape of gingerbread and do it like here in the corner or something, and then write brain dump beside it, and then put like Christmas lights up at the top, or a Christmas light border or something twirling around. Yeah, let's see here. So maybe I'll do a poll with okay, yeah, Court, someone was just saying that the Inkjoy white pens, I have not tried those. Okay, let's do a poll with like 3 options maybe, if that is possible. Would one of my moderators like to start a poll? Gingerbread house border. Oh, I see what you mean. Like turn the page into a gingerbread house? Just not sure if I would want to color the whole page. I've never tried that before. Okay, so let's have a 3-option poll here. The first option is going to be the icing piper idea. So writing out brain dump as though it's being written by one of those piping tubes. Option 2 is going to be some other gingerbread related doodles over here, and then brain dump, and then a Christmas light border. And then option 3 is, option 3, let's see. Cookie cutters, My only concern with cookie cutters is that they'll just look like shapes, you know? Oh good, this is a long poll because I can't decide what option 3 is. You know, like I just feel like if I do cookie cutters, it's just gonna look like outlined gingerbread men stars. You know, like how's it gonna look like cookie cutters instead of just outlines? You know what I mean? Okay. So option 1 was the piping bag. Option 2 was little doodles and Christmas light garland going around. And then option 3, I'm sure I had a third option in my head, but now I can't think of it. Yes, gumdrops are lights, but I'm not really sure what you mean. Like, we're trying to do a whole like brain dump heading. Do you just mean like down by the brain dump? Sorry. Carson, the options are unclear. Option 1 for sure is writing brain dump as though it's coming out of an icing piping bag. Option 2 is doing some more gingerbread shapes and brain dump and then a Christmas light border. Option 3, let's just do how much time is left? 5 seconds. Oh my goodness. Okay, never mind. 2 options. You guys. I got so frozen. I knew I had an option 3 in my head at one point, and then I just kept reading comments and completely forgetting what option 3 was. But I love the icing piper idea. I'm not mad that that one won. But sorry about that, you guys. I just got completely distracted from the option 3 that I at one point had mentally. Okay, so let's just look up. Let's go do like baking doodles or something and see if we can find a good icing bag. So my next question, if we're doing icing, oh yeah, just something like that. My next question, if we're doing icing, is what color? Because all the icing so far has been white, but if we're writing it on top of white paper, obviously we need to pick a different color. Sorry, purple yarn. What a mess, hey? Okay. Cream. Oh yeah, the beige color. You guys are so right. Okay. So, I feel like if I'm doing like kind of chunky looking calligraphy, you know, like icing looking calligraphy, should I do it going this way so that I have more space to write the whole word brain dump? I just feel like we might get a little bit crunched if I'm trying to make the icing look kind of like or the writing look kind of bouncing and icing-ish and fitting a little piping bag. You know what I mean? Does that work for you guys? Do it this way. And then, yeah, I agree. Adding some little like baking doodles would be kind of cute. Okay, so I'm just going to do normal calligraphy, but then kind of like fluff out the edges. I feel like I'm not describing that very well, but I'll just try to show it. But I'm just going to go do the first coat, and then I'm going to come fluff out the edges. Brain. And I connected the words in my head because icing needs to connect, but that is not true. So, whoops. All right, and that will go to the piping bag. Okay, so let me just kind of like bulk out some of these letters a little more. All right, brain dump. All right, let's see here. Piping bag. See, and now we're still gonna have not enough space for me to fit a good sized piping bag. Whoops. All right, let me grab my piping bag doodle here. I might just have to do it kind of pointing downwards, even though I feel like it would make more sense going up. But then we would have to cut it off, which I feel like you'd barely be able to tell what it is if we cut it off that early. So we'll just do a piping bag. Outline with red and green. Let me think here. I'm not sure how I feel about an outline. Just be, because I know I don't want to outline in black, because nothing is outlined in black. And I feel like if it's red and green, then it might no longer look like icing, and also kind of, I don't know. But I agree, we definitely need to add more colors to this page. I'm not really loving the just plain these colors. So let's add a few of these kind of doodles around, some holly, some little mini gingerbreads, and then, okay, good, Jennifer. I know it just looked so streaky after the first couple passes. I was like, I guess I just got to keep coloring until it looks decent. But I think we got it to a good point. I'm just going to add some more of the colors that we have, or the doodles that we have elsewhere. Sorry, is that off camera? I cannot tell. Brown shading. Oh, I like the cookie sheet idea. But at this point, I'd probably have to do it here. Or just, I was thinking of doing more like mini cookies, like stars, candy canes, Christmas trees, just kind of sprinkling a few of them around. What do you guys think? Jimmy's. I was wondering, Jen, if that was like a typo or if that just meant something that I did not know. Yeah, rolling pin. Could do that. Plate of cookies. Okay, well then let's lean into the baking sheet, or like the basing side. Basing. Ay, ay, ay. It's too late for me to be speaking, let alone speaking in front of people and trying to draw at the same time. Okay, let's do a baking sheet over here with a bunch of little star gingerbreads. I was gonna do all different shapes, and then I realized I just need to chill. Don't want to bite off more than I feel like chewing. So I'm gonna do this little baking sheet, and then I like the rolling pin idea, and maybe like some oven mitts or something cozy like that. I am gonna color a baking sheet behind this, don't worry. I feel like the order that I do things in doesn't always really paint the full picture right from the start, because I don't outline anything, but there will be a baking sheet under here. We'll just have a dozen star cookies. And we will ice them. I'm just gonna add the baking sheet now. All right, and I'm just gonna kind of try to draw like the rim of the baking sheet here. Just kind of darken this up a little bit. There's a lip. And then let's ice these guys. Oh, and the star thing, I could never with just like fine liners, but going in with marker first makes it so easy to correct it. You know, like if one arm of the star looks too small, like just scribble a little more, add a little bit more bulk to it, you know. I'm not great at just like outlining stars, but to color them in I feel like is easier. Okay. And these ones I feel like are a bit too small to do the little design that I had in the middle, so I'll just do like a dot. Oh, whoops, I squashed the icing on this one with the side of my finger. My bad, sorry cookie. And again, I need to just stop coloring. I'm too impatient for this. Okay, then we'll do maybe a rolling pin over here. Yes, you're right. The lines on the holly, good call. And then oven mitts, maybe in red with like a plaid pattern on them. It's like a cozy Christmas oven mitt doodle. I'll do one oven mitt over here. And one oven mitt up over here. Okay, there we go. I feel like that looks a lot better now that we added so many other things to this page. Like it was looking very bland with just the piping bag and brain dump title, but I do like it now. And I am gonna add a plaid pattern to the oven mitts. I just wanted to let them set a little bit first. And I don't mind that the white is looking a little bit distressed on the oven mitts because I feel like that makes it look more like fabric-y, you know? For icing, I want it to like stand out as much as possible, but for this, I feel like it kind of fits. If I just do one coat and it looks a little bit faded. And then, of course, we should add some of these little black sparkles to match our title page. All right. Oh, puzzle piece time. That was close. Nice. All right. Oh, Paige, I see you pinned a comment, but I can't see what it was. I can only ever see that when I look at my phone, but I can't see it on my iPad at all. Yeah, true, Verlena. Now we've got lots of doodle options to choose from for the weekly spreads. Great point. Right, Brittany? Thank you guys. Okay, where are we at? A look at the months so far. Absolutely. Let me show you. Okay, I am loving how this turned out. I wasn't sure after just the cover page, but I feel like bringing it all together, it's working. Okay, so the first month that we did in Summer's bullet journal, she requested a garden tea party theme. So that's what we've got here. Brain dump, calendar, trackers. She uses a lot of trackers. So she's got her water tracker for each day of the month, 6 habit trackers, and then a finance tracker as well. And then these are the weekly spreads that we did for August. Pretty minimal. And then for September, she asked for a daisy theme, because her dog's name is Daisy. So we've got daisies and dog footprints, paw prints. There's the calendar. And again, all of her different trackers. And these are the weekly spreads for September. And let's go to October. We did this. This is one of my OG, like the very first custom bullet journal that I did that wasn't even for sale. It was just like me timing how long it took me to do a custom journal and like figuring out if I could actually do this as a side hustle. This is one of the themes that I put in that one, and I have been getting requests for it ever since. So we did that for the globe. For October, calendar, trackers. And then these are the weekly spreads for October. And then last week we ended with November. So we did this retro camera theme, Polaroid theme, and then here's the calendar, the trackers, and then the weekly spreads. Okay. Grant McDonald. What? Bit of white on the cookie where there's just the tip. Not totally sure I know what you mean. Okay, so let's move on here to her calendars. But while I have you guys here, I am going to interrupt this broadcast. I want to show you guys the pre-made bullet journal that I'm working on, because I've been showing it in my Instagram stories a bit, but I realize not all of you guys follow me there. And I want to show you where it's at and ask for feedback. So for January, the theme that won is a cozy cottage theme, which I feel like it doesn't really look like my art style, because my art style, I feel like doesn't transfer that well to a black and white journal, you know, because I don't really outline anything. So yeah. But anyways, Cozy Cottage won. So I incorporated like strawberries, mushrooms, and then these kind of sparkles and stuff like that all throughout the month. And I am curious to know your guys' feedback on a couple of things. Okay, the calendar, everything looks a little weird because I have to do one page at a time. So you can't see the calendar spread side by side, which is frustrating until I've exported it. But here's one of my main questions. And I have this question up in my Instagram story polls right now. Is, do you guys like clean cut lines? Like you can see I use the ruler tool for all of these, very crisp, very neat. So yeah, more clean cut lines like that versus the weekly spread that you guys voted on. I wanted to use these sort of like more natural looking lines, like they've got some dashes, they are not perfectly straight. And right now in my stories, this option is winning. And I always thought that for digital, I always kind of thought that this didn't look as good and that I liked crisp lines better, but now I'm having second thoughts and I'm considering redoing this calendar to make it have the sort of more natural lines as well. But what do you guys think? The like crisp, used a ruler for everything, perfectly rounded corners, that kind of thing, versus more like hand-drawn looking, you know? And so yeah, this is the weekly spread that you guys voted for in January. So that's like the left page. And then this will be the right page. So there's a box for you to fill in with whatever you want, like notes, tasks, whatever. And then every weekly spread, I'm just changing up the doodle that's up here. I've only done 2 weekly spreads so far. Yeah, I was just about to start on this one this afternoon. But yeah, I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts on that. And if you have any other feedback on those planners. I really want to nail it. Okay, yeah, most people prefer natural. Okay, and I totally was not even considering doing natural lines until I started doing those weekly spreads. And I was like, oh, it would work for this. But see, like in this journal, I didn't use any natural lines. Every opportunity that I had to use my ruler tool, I did. The lines are a little bit thicker than what I'm doing in my next journal. And the dots are a bit darker. I don't really like the dots in this one. But yeah, I never ever did like more natural looking lines. Everything is very clean cut. Use the ruler for everything, which I think is part of why I didn't really feel like this looked like my style that much. Because number one, I don't outline anything. So yeah, making a black and white coloring book style journal doesn't really come very naturally to me. But also I never use a ruler. So seeing everything just like so crisp just didn't really feel like my style. If it's actually hand drawn, okay. And they will be printed. Like they'll be printed just like this, Jennifer. It will be like a full pre-made planner that comes like this and you just color it in and use it. It's not going to be digital. You don't need to print anything yourself. It will come just like this. Well, different covers and everything, but nothing digital about this one, Verlena. But okay, thank you guys for your feedback. Now, one last glance at this page right here, and we're going to move on. I love Christmas themes. I love the colors, like browns, greens, reds. So cozy. All right, let's get to work on the calendar page here. Just let me pull up my calendar app on my iPad so that I can see what day December starts on. All right, perfect. So we start on a Monday. So let's go 3, 6, 8, 2, 3, and 4. Start on a Monday, end on, okay. I'm definitely glad that we added red to this theme and changed the brown, because I feel like it would look so different, especially that brain dump page, if we hadn't added any red. I like doing this way. All right, there we go. Thanks, Jennifer. Yeah, that's from my bullet journal that I did in 2022. I haven't done one since then, but I am working hard to get this one to my manufacturer this summer so that we can have a good launch time. Hey, Alex. Welcome here. Let me show you, Alex. We are loving it. Butterfly, my inspiration behind my designs. Were you here when we were choosing out our title page inspiration? Because if not, I can talk you through the process, but... So Alex, oh, you just got in. Okay, so basically this is for a customer. Her name is Summer, and she kind of has given me like a prompt for most months. So her prompt for December was gingerbread men and Christmas. And so we went together onto Pinterest and found some gingerbread doodle inspiration and then also layout inspiration for the cover page. So that's how we broke this down. We took the one-word prompt from my customer, then found some doodles that fit the theme, then found a layout that fit the doodles, and then we just swatched colors for our color palette, and that's kind of how we pieced it together. That is the process that we follow for like every month in these custom bullet journals. Okay, so we've got our title page, which I'm still obsessed with. I think is this my new favorite in this journal? I think it is. Okay. And then we've got to do our calendar spread. So while I number all these dots, why don't you guys let me know in the comments if you have any ideas for how we should lay out the heading and the notes box as well. And I don't mean just like one word doodle ideas like, you know, gumdrop, because that, you know, more like small calligraphy title, gingerbread man, or Christmas lights and small calligraphy title, you know, like maybe a little bit more descriptive, because sometimes I feel like I just get spammed with tons of ideas in the comments. Good ideas, I'm sure, but I just can't really picture in my mind how they're going to work. And so I just dismiss them because there's so many ideas coming in, you know? So maybe a little bit more descriptive. I know it's awkward to describe things in a comment, but that would be helpful if you have any ideas of what you would like to see. 18, 19. Okay, icing dripping December, gingerbread with December inside. December in the shape of cookies with icing, hokey Dinah. That would be hokey Dinah. Sorry, I just laugh when I say that because I've been replacing things with different words around my toddler, and that's one of them that comes out a lot. Gingerbread cookie letters. Maybe do some holly with green little leaves. December as cookies, decorated with icing. Small girl gingerbread. December as cookies. So like a D-shaped cookie, an E-shaped cookie, a C-shaped cookie for the whole word. Is that what you mean? Okay. Okay, what icing idea? Yes, with icing details. Different gingerbread shapes with December as their... Oh, I see. Like a star gingerbread cookie with a D in the middle and then a snowman one with an E in the middle. Okay, maybe let's do a poll now that I have a few ideas here. If there's a moderator who would like to set up a poll for us, that would be lovely. So let me see here. Oh yes, Savvy One, this is the title page and brain dump for our gingerbread theme. Okay, so let's figure out the heading here. I feel like most of these are very small girl gingerbread. Okay. So let's do maybe a 3-option poll, and this will be just for this top part here, not yet for the notes part. So just for the top part here, if one of my mods would like to set up a 3-option poll, let me give you some options here. So option number 1 is going to do the same letters as this right here with the little piping tube, and then again we would end up pairing it with more doodles up here and down here as well. But focusing on this part, it would be the icing letters coming from the piping tube. That's option 1. Option 2 is going to be to do a string of Christmas lights kind of wrapping around the top of the page and then bring back this smaller calligraphy from the title page. That's option 2. Option 3 would be to make each letter of December a cookie. So basically just like a bold, boxy, kind of rounded corners, D, E, C, and then decorate each of them. That's option 3. And I think we'll just do 3 options for this poll. So let me say the options one more time before it runs out. Option 1 is to bring back the icing and piping tube for December, and then again we would pair it with other colorful doodles so that it's not just blah like that. And then option 2 is to have a string of Christmas lights kind of twirling across the top and bring back this smaller calligraphy for December. And then option 3 is to make each letter in December its own cookie with some white gel pen icing on it. Those are the 3 options. And then we will figure out what we want to do with this notes section as well. There should be a poll right under my name up there for you to cast your votes, and then TikTok will just tally them up for us. Thank you for the follow, you guys. Option 3, okay. Should have seen that coming. All right, let's do it. Let's do the cookie letters. So I'm just gonna do very like bold, but always like rounded corners for the letters. I think I should make that inside a bit smaller. I was gonna do a lowercase e, but I feel like an uppercase e might look better iced, you know? Maybe I'll do all caps. And I want to fit D-E-C-E on this page here, and then we'll put the last 4 letters on that side. So let's do a C. I feel like when I'm given the option to do all uppercase or all lowercase, I almost always choose all lowercase. I don't know why though, because I like uppercase letters, especially for, I feel like they look good for stuff like this. Okay, I want to start the M here because I don't want to leave an awkward gap. Do these look cookie-ish? I'm just kind of making them rounded and hoping that that makes them look cookie-ish as well. Definitely? Okay, good. Good, good. All right, then we've got room for an E and an R. I think we landed the spacing pretty well. Okay, R's are hard for me in bubble letters, so I'm just gonna make it a P first and then add the little stem after, because okay, that strategy worked, doing it as a P first and then just adding. Thank you guys. Okay, yeah, G, that's valid, Maria. G is tough. All right, then let's, okay, how are we picturing the icing going here? I'm thinking by default to just like kind of outline each one, like how we outlined these shapes, and then we can add some other like smaller designs in there, like inside each letter. Does that sound good? Start off with an outline and then maybe add a little bit more. This is not, yes, have the icing. Squiggle line, oh yeah, I should do squiggle lines for some. Okay. Let's outline first though. I feel like I could do squiggle lines like kind of running through the middle of the outline, you know? So I think I might, oh, I want to add a little shadow to each one also though, to make it look a little bit 3D. I know it's not like super 3D, but I should do that before I ice them. And I feel like we've got quite a few new faces in the comments tonight. If you guys are new, why don't you say hi and let me know, do you bullet journal already? And if so, what is your current monthly theme? And if you're not into bullet journaling, just tell me, how did you find us? Whoops, just shaded the wrong side of that one, my bad. No, Jess, I don't. I have not always been like that though. I definitely used to. Oh, cool, Em. Scuba diving. Wow. I have never tried scuba diving. Oh, cool, Butterfly. Are you into other artsy hobbies? If not bullet journaling? All right, there's my white gel pen working again. Ooh, coloring. Cool, like alcohol markers and stuff. I see that all over my TikTok. Looks so fun. I don't have time for more than one hobby right now. So bullet journaling is my one. Oh, cool, Nessa. You should. Honestly, I'm biased, but I feel like it's just such an ideal hobby because number one, you get to be creative, but number two, it also helps keep you organized and productive, and like you end up with a totally customized planner that meets your needs, you know, like not just a generic one that you got from Walmart that has like 40 pages that you're not even going to use because they don't apply to you, you know, like, so it's not only creative and fun, but it's super practical, which I feel like is kind of why I do it. Like, I'm a pretty like, I wouldn't say I'm like an extreme type A sort of person, but I definitely, you know, like to have things planned in order, be productive, that kind of stuff. And so to find a hobby that I really enjoy, but also like helps me do that, I feel like bullet journaling is just like top tier hobby if you're looking for a new hobby to start. Totally, Joanna. I can show you a flip through. cool. Silent hippie, live, you don't generally do color. Okay, nice. Aw, thanks for joining, you guys. Serena, currently have an ice cream theme. So cute. I've done an ice cream theme in my own journal and many custom journals. I love doing food themes, I've noticed. Food and like, not all nature themes, but I do like doing nature themes. Like simple nature themes, like leaves and acorns, that kind of stuff. Oh, cute, Annie. That totally works. All right, so I'm just finishing up with the outer ring of icing, and then I'm gonna need some ideas for like simple little icing doodles to put inside of the icing, you know? I know I'll do some wavy lines. Oh, I've never done a pizza theme. That's a cute idea though. Cool, Britt. I have never done a book theme, probably because I don't really get to read many books these days, but I like the idea. Some dots. Yes, I like the idea of dots. I'm gonna put just like a wavy line down the center of the D here. Oh, some sprinkles. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Since this one's a bit bigger, I think I'm going to do like some little kind of snowflakes, just very simple snowflakes. I think I want to do a plaid one, and then maybe some wavy lines like going across instead of just like following the letter shape. And then a dots one yet as well. Which one should I do for plaid? I think I want the R plaid. And then maybe let's do some wavy lines across here. Okay, and I haven't actually done any, I'm not really sure what you guys mean by gumdrops other than just drawing a white ball. So that's what I'm gonna do here. Just white circles. I know what gumdrops are, I'm just not really sure, like, I'm just using white here, so I feel like that doesn't, when I think of gumdrops, I think like red. But that's cute anyways. Okay, I am so glad we chose this lettering style. This is my favorite theme, locked in. I'm not sure if we're going to dethrone this one yet in this journal. Okay, so cute. I love how those came out. All right, now we need a notes section. Let's see here. I'm thinking we bring back in the just like smaller calligraphy for the notes heading. And then I'm not sure about the box here. If we want to do like a box more like this, or like some highlights more like this, something different. Oh, oh, that's not a bad idea. Person, a big beige blob. Beige blobs are kind of on theme, so I don't mind that idea at all. Okay, let's do a big beige blob, and then I'll write notes on top of it and maybe have like a piping bag and a spatula or a whisk or something over here. So yeah, I feel like beige blobs could definitely come back in. All right, and then we'll do, yeah, a little like piping bag over here to remind us that this is icing. And then I was thinking whisk, but I think maybe just to bring some color back in, because I would probably just use like brown or gray for a whisk. I might just do like an oven mitts sort of situation to bring some more color into the bottom here, because we've been doing a lot of brown and beige so far on this page. Anderson. The theme for January, I should check. I am pretty sure we have a theme already chosen for us for January, but I don't remember at the moment what it would be. Let me see. Oh. Oh no, for January? Okay. So I will need to chat with Summer, because I know she really loved, so she just watched the flip through of Patty's bullet journal. She really loved the Candy Hearts theme, and she really loved March's kind of like coffee pegboard sort of theme. And we don't have anything like either of those in her theme ideas yet. So I'm not sure if I'll add something like, well, not the Candy Hearts one, I wouldn't do that for January, but if I'll add something more like Patty's March one in for January, I'll have to chat with her first. But yeah, I'm not sure what the January theme will be. All right, let's add just a couple quick sparkles on here. All right, and then I need to write notes for sure. And we're doing it in kind of this sort of font. All right, there we go. There is our calendar page for December. All right, let me take you guys down because I told my husband I was going to try to be done at 9:30 so that we had some time to pack. But thank you guys so much for joining tonight, especially those of you who are new. It's always awesome to have new people here, so thank you for coming. And I will be back tomorrow night around this same time. We need to do her trackers for December and then also all of her weekly spreads for December. Thank you for the follow, Sammy. So yeah, feel free to come join us again tomorrow night if you're interested. I do also try to announce my lives all the time on my Instagram story. So if you like to know when I'll be live, you can check it out on Instagram. That's also where I do polls. Sorry, Liv, we can do a quick flip through. Everything's gonna be backwards for you. I can put you back up on the stand. On my Instagram story is also where I'm doing a ton of polls these days about my next pre-made bullet journal. So if you want to give any feedback at all, I ask big questions like what theme should we do for February? That's one of the questions on there right now, but I also ask little dumb questions like, do you guys like dashed lines or perfectly straight lines? So any level of feedback is very appreciated over on my Instagram. Mackenzie, I do post these lives to YouTube as well. So this one will be up on YouTube tomorrow late morning or early afternoon. And if you guys are at all interested in grabbing a journal for yourself, every journal ordered with the code LIVE50, well, okay, every journal ordered you get to choose your charms to put on it. And then journals ordered with code LIVE50 will get 50% off. And you can also choose a freebie, which this week is going to be washi tape or stickers. So feel free to check out my shop, linked in my bio as well. And let me put you back up on the stand for a sec, Mackenzie, so that I can give you a flip through of this journal so far. Whoop, there we go. Sorry for the car sickness there, moving this around. So Summer's journal starts in August. We've got Garden Tea Party was the prompt for the first month. There's her brain dump, title page, 2-page calendar. Ah, yay, Rachel. Awesome. Let me know what you choose for your first theme. Her trackers. So water tracker, habits, and finances. And then these are the weekly spreads that we went with for August. Every month she requested 3 bonus boxes. So we need weekly spreads that leave us quite a bit of extra space, which isn't always the case. So that's August. Every customer chooses just whatever they want. So this is not the same layouts and stuff as I do for every journal. I get that question sometimes, is like, do you do the same layouts all the time? No, it's literally always different. This is just what Summer chose. So she chose a monthly title page. This one is Daisy after her dog. Brain dump, 2-page calendar with a section for notes. Yes, Jess, I have a bunch of just like miscellaneous stickers. I'd have to go get them from across the room, but I can show them to you if you want. Trackers here, and these are the weekly spreads. Oh, Paige, we're gonna fill these. I felt like getting into the monthly spreads before doing the yearly spreads. But we are gonna fill these. All of these will be filled with yearly spreads. Yes, these are the weeklies for September. Then we have October. We've got this globe theme. Hey, Hinal, how's it going? I'm just logging off for the night. We're just doing one final flip through, but I want to show you December because it's my favorite so far. These are the weekly spreads we did for October. Then we have this Polaroid camera, kind of retro Polaroid theme for November. Calendar. Trackers. And the weekly spreads. All right, and then tonight we did December, which is my favorite one so far. We did this little gingerbread theme. There's the brain dump. And then the calendar page where we did each letter as a cookie. And that's as far as we got in December, which means tomorrow we're going to be doing the trackers as well as all of the weekly spreads. Thank you, Hinal. Yeah, I really love this one. The coloring, the doodles, I feel like everything came together pretty well. and it was a very easy one to do. Blobs everywhere, and then white gel pen on top that makes it look like you tried. Anyways, I'm gonna take you guys down for real because I need to go do a bit of packing for our upcoming move. But I hope to see you guys again later this week. And yeah, feel free to check out my Instagram or my shop with the code LIVE50 to get 50% off of whatever you order. Thank you guys so much for joining. I will hopefully see you again on live later.